right, so you don't have any notes today because we've taken notes the past 2 days, but for today's assignment, I do want you to work on finding the output given a function rule. So I am going to just do a quick little video on how these problems are to be worked. I'll do 1 and 2. I'll do 1 and 5 because 5 seems a little bit more difficult than 2. And I'll show you how I'm doing this, and then you've got to do the rest of the problems on your own and upload it by the end of the day today. So for this function rule number 1, it says f of x equals x plus 9. So these are the x values that you can plug in as x, and whenever you simplify, the answer that you get will be what f of x equals. And f of x is just another way to write y. So the answer that you get will actually be equal to y, and you'll plug that in here. So if I plug 9 in, what is 9 plus 9? If that gets plugged into the rule, it's 18. So the answer is actually what y would equal. Sorry, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. If I plug -1 in for x and I get -1 plus 9, what is -1 plus 9? Or 9 minus 1? It's 8. What about 2? 2 plus 9? 11. What about 6? If I plug 6 into the rule, 6 plus 9? 15. And -6 plus 9, or 9 minus 6, is 3. So we look at 5. It's a little bit harder. If you'd like to use a calculator, or I know your phones are really good with simple math, you don't have to have a crazy calculator, feel free. But you're just essentially going to be plugging in these x's to this function rule and getting your outputs. This one has a fraction, but that is okay. So 1/3 times 6 is actually 2, and you can use your calculator. Or remember, you can always turn this number into a fraction. So put it over 1, multiply your numerators and your denominators, and 6 over 3 will reduce down to 2. And 2 plus 7 is 9. Same thing here. 1/3 times 4, and we'll go ahead and make it a fraction, over 7. 1/3 times -2 plus 7. 1/3 times -5 plus 7. And 1/3 times 2 plus 7. So I turned all of these into fractions. Zoom in for you. All of these numbers right here, these x values, when I plugged them in place of the x right here, I went ahead and put them over 1, making them all fractions, so that when I go to multiply, it's going to make more sense for me in my head as I'm doing this. So this next one will be 4 over 3 plus 7, which is just 1 and 1/3. So that would be 8 and 1/3. And again, you can use your calculator and plug all of this in. So let me just use my calculator over here on the side. 1/3 times 4 plus 7. It tells me it's 8.3. And again, we just figured that out by doing it on paper, but you can use your calculator. Next, I'm going to do 1/3 times -2 plus 7. That gives me 6.3. Then I'm going to do 1/3 times -5 plus 7. And I get 5 and 1/3. And then lastly, let's do 2. 2 times 1/3 plus 7 is 7.6. So once you know where these numbers go into your rule, you can either write them out longhand and do it on paper, or you can make sure that you're plugging it into the calculator the right way, and the calculator will give you what the answer is. But again, this is all that functions are. It's one input relates to one output, and you make sure you plug in the correct input to the correct rule, and you'll get the correct output. So make sure that you're doing the rest of this paper properly, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.